In this video of MSPM0 event module, I will introduce the features and get started on developing the event module. The event fabric and manager is a new concept for MSP that allows you to directly trigger different peripherals, DMA, and traditional CPU interrupts together. First, let's look at a key feature. The event module is made up of publishers and subscribers. Each peripheral on the chip have different configurations on the ability to publish or subscribe. By connecting a publishing event to a subscribing event, you can allow actions to happen between peripherals without CPU intervention. When talking about event module, there are three types of channel discussed: CPU interrupt channel, DMA trigger channel, and general event channels. CPU interrupt and DMA trigger channels are typically seen on MCUs. The general event channels allow for peripheral-to-peripheral interaction. By linking these channel types in the event fabric, allows for maximum flexibility within the chip. See device TRM and datasheet for full capabilities. Other M0 MCUs have similar features. However, they can be relatively complicated to manage with the event system. The event module of MSPM0 MCUs allow for more advanced features and flexibility than the architectures in other M0 MCUs, such as the peripheral-to-peripheral GEN events. When a subscriber is the CPU, the event channel works as an interrupt event. The CPU can respond to different publishers, and it can configure the priority of different interrupt events. Priority groups for different interrupt events can be configured based on user needs, and priority group with smaller number will have higher interrupt priority and can be nested for interrupt. Within the same interrupt priority group, interrupts with smaller NVIC numbers have higher interrupt priority, but interrupt events within the same group cannot be nested. The following table gives an example of interrupt event priority configuration, where ADC0 will have the highest priority and I2C0 will have the same interrupt level as ADC0. TIMG1 GPLS have lower NVIC number, but will have lower interrupt priority than ADC0 and I2C0 in group 0. When the subscriber is DMA, the event channel will be a DMA event, and the DMA bus can respond to the publisher to complete the DMA transfer without CPU involvement. DMA event requires an input channel for the publisher and the subscriber to establish connection. Please refer to DMA module introduction videos for detail. When a subscriber is a peripheral, the event module will be a general event. At this point, one peripheral can trigger another peripheral by a general event. The MSPM0 L series support up to 3 channels, while the MSPM0 G series support up to 15 channels. Some event channels support up to 2 subscribers, allowing a publisher to trigger 2 different peripherals simultaneously. I will use a few examples in following slides to help you better understand MSPM0 event module. The first example is that a peripheral triggers a CPU interrupt through the event module, which is the basic function of the event manager. You can configure the RTC module, configure the event module inside, and publish CPU interrupts through the CPU bus, which allows the CPU to respond to the interrupt. The second example is that a peripheral triggers the DMA through the event module, which is also a relative basic function. The UART can trigger DMA transfer through the event module and the DMA bus. The data received by the UART can be automatically transferred to the specified address without CPU, thus the CPU can handle other tasks at the same time. The third example is that a peripheral triggers another peripheral through the event module, which is a feature of the MSPM0 event module. With a timer as a publisher and ADC as a subscriber, the timer can trigger the ADC to start sampling directly without CPU intervention. It should be noted that some peripherals can be either a publisher or a subscriber. such as a GPIO triggering another GPIO output level to toggle. Please refer to user manual for details. Now let's take a look at how to quickly get familiar with the event module on MSPM0. We highly recommend to purchase an MSPM0 evaluation board. No additional accessories are needed to get started with MSPM0 development. Next, we can start with a brief academy tutorial for the event module. This online tutorial will help the user understand the configuration and usage details of the event module through a series of tasks, along with questions and instructions. We can also refer to the examples in the driver lib in the SDK, the datasheet, and the TRM. Please note that the event module cannot be used independently and needs to be used in conjunction with different peripherals configured as publisher and subscribers, so most of our tutorials are based on different peripherals. If you want to configure the event module, it is recommended to use the system config graphical configuration tool. Here are the steps for the timer to trigger ADC sampling. Step 1. Select the appropriate peripheral. Click the plus icon and add peripherals. Step 2. Configure the peripheral. You need to select the publisher and subscriber in the event configuration section. In particular, for the ADC part, the trigger source needs to be selected as event. Step 3. The configuration was automatically generated for the event peripheral. No further settings are required. You can also view the publishers and subscribers of the current event channels so that users can assign different channels and peripherals. If you want to learn more about the Quick Start, you can move to the related document link. This contains the MSPM0 online resources, which integrate the Academy and SDK, and can be viewed without download. Thank you for watching this video. Please check these links out to access additional information about MSPM0. Thanks.